girl would just be in love with me and push me around in my wheelchair. But that never happened.
Well, I'm sorry that never happened.
But I think that's why I resonated so much with Mac and me. And that's it.
Isn't it like I used to, man? That happened. That stuck with me into like middle school. That feeling of like, oh, if only this. I felt it when I first saw a Goofy movie. The way Max dealt with Roxanne. The movie Airborne.
Yeah, Airborne's huge.
Just this. I would love to do it. I don't know if it fits what we do, but basically, this kid is from out of state. He hates his life because he moved to Cincinnati from California. Yeah. He loved California. He deals with all these bullies, an early Jack Black, Seth Green. There's another person in there that it ends up pretty big, but it's just a really fun movie. He overcomes the bullies, finds common ground, wins. Karate Kid on rollerblades.
Yeah, Devil's Backbone.
Devil's Backbone.
Yeah. I think the movie for me that initially did it was 1, The Wizard.
Oh, yes.
And 2 was Rad. And those movies...
2 important films.
Oh, yeah.
Just within the ethos of film.
Right. I always wanted to go cross-country with a girl, but I was like, how did he do this? Like, how does this happen? And a little short story, but I remember taking my sister to college, and she's 7 years my senior, and taking her to college... I was probably in 5th or 6th grade at this time, I believe, and I got to bring a girl that I liked with me, with my parents, to take her up to college.
Whoa.
And now we're talking a 1985, probably, Dodge van that we're in. Now, this van wasn't like any others. We had the chessboard in the back, so it was pretty banging.
It's decked out.
I made a traveling cassette, a mixtape, which consisted of everything from Color Me Bad to EMF to CNC Music Factory. Wow. I mean, I wanted my sensualness to ooze from the back seat of
what year
this
was
van.
this?
This was probably
so she was going to college. So she was 19 or 20.
Yeah. So she was around 19. So it's probably around 90.
You were 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's probably around 92-ish, I would think, or somewhere around there.
Right around there.
Yeah, right around here.
Wesley Snipes is in theaters. Marcus is on the road.
Yeah, and I mean, it played out. I never got a kiss or anything, but it was just that I got to travel not cross country, but I got to travel 2 hours, like 2 hours. It's like, I mean, it felt like forever then. Yeah.
You made a cassette.
Yeah.
For this 2-hour drive. Oh, that's a lot of work.
And I loved every minute of it. I mean, we held hands, we did everything, and it was. I was just a romantic after that.
Man, that's a really beautiful story. I'd never traveled cross country as a kid with a girlfriend, but I remember when certain songs would come on the radio, I would lean against the window and imagine myself in a romantic montage of having a girl with me, or like a music video. I would play out scenarios in my head when I would do these big dramatic gestures at school to win the girl over or whatever. I never did any of those, and the only dramatic gesture I ever did it wasn't to win a girl over. It was a misunderstanding about a homework assignment in like the 2nd grade, where the teacher said, everyone bring in your favorite song. And
you had to dig deep. You wanted to look older than you were, kind of thing? Or?
I didn't know a lot about music. Sure. Everyone knew music. People were bringing in like Tone Loc songs. Yeah. And the person who went before me, his name was Bobby, he brought in Tone Loc, Wild Thing. That was his favorite song right now. Yeah. And I didn't have a favorite. I wasn't listening to much music, of course. I was, 8, 9, 10, whatever you are in 2nd grade. She gave the option that you could sing.
Oh, no.
Your favorite song. And in my head, I was going to... This was what in my head I was going to do. I had cut off gloves that I wasn't going to wear until I got up in front of everyone.
Sure. So this isn't what you did. This is what you wanted to do.
Yeah. No. Okay. This is what This is what I was hoping would happen. She would call my name. People would be like, "Oh, Adam, are you going to go?" Like they would even care, but then I'd be like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Do you have a tape or because you could play your song or whatever?" I was like, "No, I'm going to sing." Remember, this is still in my fantasy.
Yeah.
And she was like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would take the gloves out of my pocket, put them on my hand, and I was not going to have a guitar, but I was going to reach and grab someone's like notebook off their desk and pretend to play that as a guitar.
Oh.
And then I was going to sing the song Wild Thing, the rock song. Wild Thing.
Oh, Jesus.
This was my plan.
Yeah.
And needless to say, none of that happened. I got up there with my own notebook that I don't even remember why I carried, and I meekly, because it was the only thing I had. I didn't prepare anything else. I was ready to sing. I had to sing. And I just went, I'm going to sing a song. She's like, okay, what are you going to sing? And I was like, it's called Wild Thing. And she goes, oh, like Bobby's? And I was like, no, it's not that one. I don't know that one.
I don't know.
And I just go, Wild Thing.
Are you up in front of the
Yes.
class? Oh, no.
I go, Wild Thing. Dun, 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 dun.
You sang
the
instrument.
I sang the instrumental. And
You're like
Bobby,
Shy Ronnie.
yeah, I
You're just-
was. And Bobby looks at me and just starts dying laughing.
Oh, no.
And everyone didn't like catch on like in a movie, but
Yeah.
I'll never forget Bobby just
Was
being
Bobby
like,
an a-hole in that class? Was he the
He
cool
was-
kid? Or
he was sort of an a-hole throughout. He and his group. I remember one time in middle school. This isn't therapy, but what the hell? I remember one time in middle school. I would have to wait outside because they wouldn't let you wait inside, so I had to wait outside for my mother to come pick me up. And they were him and a group of his friends, like Bobby, David, and Brad. I think all asshole names.
Yeah, sure.
I walked over just because I was just me and like the three of them, and I was like, "Oh, hey guys," and David looks at me and goes, "You trying to be like us?"
Oh, God.
I was like, no, I guess not.
Wild Thing.
Yeah, that's probably what Bobby was like. This kid, because this was like 6 years later, he's probably like, this kid once sang Wild Thing in front of the class like an idiot. Anyway, those are romantic times, and this is not a romantic movie, but I suppose it has its moments of being romantic. This screenplay was rewritten. The original screenplay wanted a Clint Eastwood type character.
Yeah. That was one of the first picks that they wanted to put it on was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
in the original one, it was this guy going to Spain to bury his son, and then sits next to an Iranian
Oh, God.
terrorist,
Yeah.
and ends up taking all of them hostage. And when it lands in Iran, he negotiates the release of American prisoners for the release of these guys.
Okay.
That was the original one. And the studio was like, "We're not going to make that. They'll kill us." Literally.
Kill us.
is kind of what the thought was. And so it went through several things. I think it eventually became what we know it as through a rewrite by Dan Gordon, who I can't find out much information about. And if you're wondering why, well, Passenger 57, what's an interesting name? Basically on a rewrite, Ratliff, or whatever his name is, Rafiel, he was looking at, he was eating lunch at a diner and saw 57 on a Heinz 57 bottle.
That's it. That's where the magic happens.
That's
huh?
it.
Man.
And he says at this point only about a quarter of the film is anything like what he originally written.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I definitely see it as like, I definitely see if it was Clint Eastwood put into this role, it's a completely different movie than, of course, what they have. And, you know, I don't
Where's my cup of water? I need to take my medicine.
I don't see, you know, the Tom Sizemore character in there. You know, I don't see anybody telling Clint Eastwood what to do, kind of thing, you know, or how to live his life. And,
No. I don't think that's going to happen either. The music is by Stanley Clarke. Now, Stanley Clarke is a pretty cool dude. He is an American bassist, film composer, and founding member of Return to Forever, one of the first jazz fusion bands. And I bring all of that up because I'm literally reading from his Wikipedia page, but this soundtrack is jarring at times.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's wow, which is great. I mean, I think it certainly gives a unique feel to the movie. but there are times when it's like, man, this is jarring.
I want to see if you can think of the same thing that I'm thinking about. What is the one scene in Passenger 57 after watching it again that you're like, was that scene needed? And it's with that type of music, and it's just like, it seems very elementary in a scene, but I guess that's how I'd put it. But is there one scene that just comes to mind like that? And I'll give you a hint. There's no acting in it at all. It's just a shot or shots.
What are you talking about? I can't think of it.
It's when they have that music, that high-pitched music playing, and it's just different shots of the airplane. Like, here's what an airplane looks like.
I do know exactly what you're talking about
like,
now.
Here's the engine. Here's the wing. Here's the cockpit. And it's just showing, like, quick cuts of these different parts of the plane.
As someone improvises jazz over it.
That's what it is.
You think they showed that... They were like, okay... oh, God, now I forgot the guy's name. They were like, okay, Stanley, here is, we'll give you the cut, and you add your music here. And he sees this part, he's just like, wow, and that's a plane.
Yeah, that's a plane.
Edit, cut, we're done.
Yep. Send it.
This movie was shot in Orlando, where Wesley Snipes is from.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of some of the background actors were members went to his childhood high school.
Yeah, he had him on his extras.
Yeah,
that's just great, man.
Sweet shit.
Yeah,
sweet shit. Who cares that he evaded the IRS for years?
No,
they do, but I don't.
No,
I could care less if people don't pay taxes. I understand why people do. Don't get me wrong. I understand if people don't also. So he went to his high school, went there, talked, and was like, hey, if you're of a certain grade point average, we'll interview you and we'll give you a chance to be in the movie. Yeah. And his father was also an engineer at the airport.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Wesley Snipes, big in the movie, like his history in Florida.
Right.
That must have been really cool. I'm here, big budget film, and my dad worked at this airport that I am shooting this movie at.
Yeah,
that's just really cool.
Yeah, that would be. I would love for an older me to go back to Odessa, Texas, shoot a movie at Rose's Cantina, and I'll have all my old high school or kids from my high school now being extras in it, and just to shut them the F up. And here's what I did: I made something of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shut them. I need to retract something. I won't edit it. I'll keep my ignorance in, but I found Dan Gordon's info.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big deal.
Is he? Okay.
Listen to this.
I believe you.
He has written films that include Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Murder in the First.
Okay.
The Hurricane.
The Hurricane, yeah.
And he developed the story for Rambo: Last Blood. Good for him.
Yeah.
Damn. And he's written a few stage adaptations of Terms of Endearment and Rain Man.
Okay.
Well, Dan Gordon. What a pair.
Yeah, I love Wyatt. Wyatt Earp is looked upon. It's not, because of course you have Tombstone and stuff like that. But Wyatt Earp is a great movie. I love Wyatt Earp.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. So I think that's it for the nuts and bolts of it. Am I missing anything major there, Marcus?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm looking on Wikipedia right now, and I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I think we've pretty much said verbatim, just read that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't, anything that, nothing that I have in front of me is nothing that you said as far as interesting. I mean, we'll go into the movie in depth a little bit more here later, but, I mean, as a kid, just again to reflect on this, watching this, I don't have the exact memory of watching it the first time, but again, I do remember just thinking, and this kind of brought it up too when we started talking about Hooks and everything as well, the director. I remember seeing this too, and again, like I had never seen a black action hero. I mean, I had seen, of course, black actors in movies, but It's just like Van Damme, Stallone, Schwarzenegger.
That's all we had.
Yeah, that's all we had. And it's just like, oh my God, here is someone who is a lot smoother than Jean-Claude Van Damme
Yeah.
on screen.
And
yeah.
like